What would you say to the 100 people gathered here, apart from reading your books, is the most useful thing to do to get water management in Tasmania on track? What's the next step?
Change the government.
Change the government?
No, you're asking me what the individual can actually do. First of all, you have to be informed, because I have to tell you, I was really cheesed off at a meeting earlier this year in Launceston when Peter Cundall said to me, look, we don't need to hear all your technical claptrap. And then he went ahead, rearranged the program for the organiser, went ahead and then actually had error in what he said. It's most important. You must never get it wrong, because it will be used against you. You must get informed, and you must know what is right. Don't make it too complicated. Water's such a basically it isn't that complicated, frankly. So I think that's the first thing to do. Then, as Frank said, talk to people about it. You know, describe. You know, what will ask me, why is there all that silt collecting down in the river? Make them think about where it's come from, and then think about why it has come from there. And it's either bad farming or bad forest practice. And once you get that point over, it's then bad administration somewhere. So you can slowly work that back up the pile and have people sort of get upset about it. And sort of say, well, what's the point of spending $30 million on a levy if we're not sort of spending $2 million and solving the problem in the first place? I think that's an effective way to go. It's much harder to run an argument about water quantity, because it's a much harder thing to perceive, the exchanges that go on. But certainly water quality, where to ask the question, well, are we really testing for these things that are being used in our catchment? That's a legitimate question.
How often?
And how often, and when, and why? All right, it costs money. And I told somebody else today, Hobart Water does this. Now, there's several water authorities in Tasmania. But Hobart Water's got a very rigorous fuss-potting way of handling this.
So is Melbourne.
Yeah, they will do it. It can be done. They're not even forced to do it. There aren't any standards that say thou shalt do all these things. They do it. Hobart Water is analysing daily, and for a lot of the things that you would consider nasty, weekly. And the list is quite long. Well, do you really want to know? Look up the website. You'll find it. It's approximately 3 monthly for some things, but it's a very short list. And some of the things, the list doesn't include some of the newer chemicals being used. So it is something that EskWater could do something about. You pay the rates, you pay for the water, you should at least be assured they're testing it properly. Now, there are national and international standards for what can be in the water, and that includes pesticides. So you can legitimately ask, why aren't we doing that? What's being used? If you want to know what's being used, inquire as to what came out of the helicopter, the Chris and the George River. And it's a very nice little list of nasties. And you'll find that some of those are not on EskWater's list, and yet they're being used. So that's the sort of loop to take. EskWater has to be embarrassed into doing this. You deserve nothing less.